Hey folks, it's Keith Victor Echo 3 Sierra Victor Quebec, also known as the Shaky Key. Back with another video today looking at the SSS, the Slow Speed Saunter. Now, this is an event that I think if you are a new operator, it's something you should definitely get involved with. Mark up the next one in your calendar so you don't miss it. But it's a perfect event for those of you who are just starting out. Maybe you're trying to make your first contact. Maybe you have one or two or three or five, a dozen under your belt, and you're looking to make more in a sort of friendly environment. This is one of those events, certainly something that you're going to need to consider going forward, and one that I think you will find is a lot of fun as well. Now, when you first start off, you make your first contact, and this is a very common thing. Of course, it's a big deal. I think we all agree with that. Part of the problem, though, that I see is that there's so much fuss made of this that once it's over, there's a little bit of a letdown because now you're on your own. You have to go and make more contacts, find people. It's not one that someone is setting up, a club will set up one to help you do. So it can be a little difficult to shift from that type of environment to one where now you're on your own. So what are you going to do next? So this is one of those events that will help you out. I have done videos previously on the SST, which is the one that's run by K1USN, which is another excellent event for new operators. This slow speed saunter, which is put on by the Straight Key Century Club, otherwise known as the SKCC, is another one. And they have lots of other events as well that will be very welcoming for new operators. But this one in particular is one that I think you should be paying attention to and certainly taking part in. Now, in my opinion, and it might be just my opinion, so take it for what it's worth. I think there's a bit of a myth out there that once the operator makes that first contact, then wow, all is good. You're off and running. You're going to make more and more and more contacts, and it's just going to be a ball. I didn't find that. And judging by the comments I get at the bottom of videos and in emails from people and so on Facebook pages and what have you, what I find is a lot went through what I went through. So you got that first contact, or maybe two or three out of the way, and then you sit back and you get what I referred to in one video I did as key fright. You hear an operator, you can copy them. They're at a speed that you can not only copy, but you can send at, so you're very comfortable with what they're doing, but you do nothing. You sit back and you listen and you think, should I, shouldn't I? But in the end, you don't, because you're afraid of making those mistakes that maybe you made in your first two or three contacts. You're afraid about looking foolish, so you hang back. And what do? Well, I'll just practice again. I'll practice, I'll go through whatever the protocol is for, or script, whatever you want to call it, for that particular event that you were listening to or that type of operator you were listening to, and you practice and practice and practice. It's a term that I like to call perfection paralysis. Now, there's a term for you, right? You're seeking perfection and you're paralyzed because you never take it beyond that step. And for many people, the gap can really lengthen. So you make your first contact, or maybe your first one or two, and then this perfection paralysis sets in, and the gap gets longer. Not only do hours go by, days go by, in many cases, from what I'm told, weeks go by. In my case, it was actually weeks. And in some cases, months go by before you actually answer a CQ, because I know most of you won't call CQ right at the beginning. So there's that perfection paralysis, that desire to protect yourself from looking foolish, even though the other operator probably couldn't care less. So ways around that, I'll show you two that I have used, one of which incidentally was the K1USN. The other was this particular event, the Slow Speed Saunter, and one other one, a little thing I did, which I put up in some other videos, but I'll just repeat it here. So let's take a look at some of this, see if some of this might help you, because after all, it's about having fun. So what you have here is an example of what I use for myself. What I did, I put this up behind my computer, and it's exactly at eye level. So this was a way to get me motivated every day when I sat down at my computer to do whatever. I certainly saw that staring at me, and when I decided it was time to listen to people and maybe make a contact, that was staring at me. And over time, it definitely worked. Over time, that one contact per day became a big deal. And here we are a couple of years later. It's still on my wall. It's just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, but it's still on my wall. And today it still motivates me to every day try and make at least one contact. And unless I'm super busy or the bands are just awful, I get that one contact in every single day. Sometimes, obviously, many more. But this is one way to make sure you get off your butt, make that one contact. Simple, very effective way to do it. And that brings us back to this particular event that I want to highlight. Now, most of the SKCC or Straight Key Century Club events are pretty welcoming for new operators. I mean, all of them. They're very good about that. But this one particular event, the Slow Speed Saunter, is geared just for new operators. And the veteran operators are there, but they're there to help you out. So the words per minute, if you want to get into that, is less than 12 words per minute. So on this past weekend, as an example, because it was the first of the month, and this event is held the first day of every month, so it's a repeating event. So mark it down in your agenda or your calendar to watch for the next one coming up, and it goes for 24 hours. So just think, less than 12 words per minute, 24 hours to make contacts, lots of operators there to help you to make those contacts. This is one of the great events if you're a brand new operator. Now, I missed this last one except for probably the last, I don't know, 90 minutes. Life sometimes gets in your way. But in the 90 minutes, I made 4 contacts, including one with somebody, a brand new SKCC member. It was their first contact, and they were over in Holland. And I think when I look back, the words per minute in those contacts were there was one at 5, one at 8, one at 10 words per minute, one about 15 words per minute. So, all speeds. And there are people there definitely waiting for you to post that you're there, waiting for you to say that you want to make a contact. Some of them will put the frequencies they're on, so you don't even have to worry about that. You can just dial in the frequency, listen for them. If you don't hear them, you can always call them because they're probably monitoring that frequency. You know, Pretty easy and very, very friendly, which is the key element in all of this. New operator friendly. So if you look at this particular picture here, this is the top right-hand corner of their web page, their SCED page, as they call it. Now, this is the day after the event, so it's not the day of the event. On the day of the Slow Speed Saunter, I have to tell you, it was quite advanced. There was a long string of people, but I want to show you what I mean when I say they are new operator friendly, not only in this one event, but certainly at all the time. So if you look at the one at the top here, KA3 BPN, he's on 7.114, and look what they've got beside themselves there. Beginner QRS friendly. All right, and that's someone who's in there quite a bit. You go down a little bit further, NA2DX, I know him. I've had a few contacts with him. He's on 14051.5. He would be more than happy to have contacts with slower operators. Under that, you can see myself with what I put. I now certainly in the SSS, I put this, but I also put it every single day that I'm there. So here to help new ops make a contact, QRS, your words per minute. And down below that, you also have W1DV. And again, gives the frequency, glad to go, any speed you set it. So this is the type of operators you have in the SKCC. And in this particular event, the slow speed Saunter, there are many others just like them, happy to help you make your first contact, maybe your second, third, fourth, or fifth. They're there to help you, to get you to relax, and above all, get you to have fun, which is really the name of the game. This is a hobby, it's not a business. Now, this next screenshot here is from their main web page of the SKCC. And again, reminding you that it's the first day of the month and that it's essentially open to everyone to participate, even if you don't have a straight key, a bug, or a cootie. So you can go there, you can get all the information you need, you can get, what the exchange is, what you're expected to say. You don't have to be an SKCC member to do it. If you're very new, this is an event that I think you should participate in, that you should definitely make a point of setting aside certainly a couple of hours to do it. You may find yourself really attracted to this event and spend quite a few hours doing it. All right, it's a great way to make contacts, especially if you're relatively new and maybe you only have one or two under your belt. This is one, definitely check it out. Check out their webpage, check out all the other events they offer. They offer quite a few events throughout the year. Actually, throughout almost every month, there are events, all very friendly for new beginners as well. So, as you go forward and as you try and progress with your Morse code abilities and have a bit of fun with the hobby, check out all of the SKCC events, including this one, and I would say especially this one if you're a new operator. But all of their other events are definitely new operator friendly. And before anyone starts sending me emails and comments to say one of my contacts was at 15 words per minute, which is more than 12 words per minute, you're quite right. It was a veteran operator who had seen me on because I was posted, as you saw earlier. He wanted to make a contact with me, so he definitely did. And we had a nice contact at 15 words per minute. So, you know, it's a little bit of everything. But for the slower speed operators, boy, we'll slow down to your speed. Don't you worry about it. We're here to have fun. You're here to have fun. And, this is what the hobby is all about, helping each other out. Bit of luck. Maybe I'll see you in the next slow speed saunter. Maybe we'll have a contact. Maybe I'll see you in some of their other events. I try and go into most of them anyways, whenever I can, at least a few minutes, if not many hours. So maybe we'll have a contact. It's Keith, Victor Echo 3, Sierra Victor, Quebec, the Shaky Key, wishing you much fun, much success, and much enjoyment. If you like what you see, please subscribe, share it, make a comment, always read them. If you decide to join some organization and learn Morse code, tell them the Shaky Key sent you. I always like to see that as well. 73. Have a good one.